Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're shining a spotlight on a jazz genius who broke all the rules, Thelonious Monk, known for his unique piano style, quirky personality, and of course that unforgettable music. Monk didn't just play jazz, he reinvented it. In just 5 minutes, we're going to dive into the life and legacy of one of the most original figures in jazz history, Thelonious Sphere. Monk was born on October 10, 1917 in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. But his family moved to New York City when he was just 4 years old. The streets of Harlem would become his home, and it was here that Monk found his way to music. Monk's early days were spent playing the piano in church, but by his teenage years he was already sitting in on jam sessions with some of the best jazz musicians around. And while he was influenced by the sounds of stride piano and early swing, Monk's sound was something different, something no one had ever heard before. It was at places like Minton's Playhouse in Harlem that Monk really made a name for himself. This was the birthplace of bebop, and Monk was right there at the center of it all, rubbing shoulders with legends like Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. But while bebop was fast, frenetic, and complex, Monk's approach to the piano was different. He used unusual rhythms, dissonant harmonies, and space between notes. Some people called it eccentric, but for Monk it was just how the music flowed. He didn't play around the rules. He made his own. Monk's compositions are some of the most enduring pieces in jazz history. Tunes like Round Midnight, Straight, No Chaser, and Blue Monk are standards today, but at the time they were considered radical. His playing was often described as angular and percussive, full of stops and starts, but the genius was in how it all worked together. Monk wasn't just playing notes, he was shaping sound in a way that was unpredictable and deeply emotional. Whether he was playing solo or leading a band, every note was distinct, every chord full of intention. But for all of Monk's musical brilliance, his life was far from easy. In the 1950s, his cabaret card was revoked due to a police incident, preventing him from performing in New York City's clubs for several years. Monk also struggled with mental health issues throughout his life, a factor that many believe contributed to both his eccentricities and his creative genius. His close friends, like fellow jazz legend John Coltrane, often spoke about Monk's unusual methods, like rehearsing one song for hours or his long silences during performances, just listening to the music unfold in his head. Despite the ups and downs, Monk eventually found a larger audience in the late 50s and 60s. Albums like Brilliant Corners and his collaborations with John Coltrane and Sonny Rollins brought him critical acclaim, and in 1964, Monk even made the cover of Time magazine. A rare honor for a jazz musician. By the 1970s, Monk had withdrawn from the public eye, playing fewer concerts and spending more time in isolation. But even as his public appearances dwindled, his legacy continued to grow. Today, Thelonious Monk is recognized as one of the architects of modern jazz, a musician whose influence can still be heard in jazz clubs and conservatories around the world. So, what makes Monk's music stand the test of time? It's that fearlessness to be different. Monk showed that you don't have to follow anyone else's path. You can carve out your own, even if it means not everyone will understand you at first. Today, Monk's music is performed by jazz students and professionals alike, and his compositions continue to challenge musicians with their unconventional structure and rhythm. His work pushes musicians to think outside the box, just like he did. Thelonious Monk was truly one of a kind, a musician whose talent and vision shaped the future of jazz. If you haven't explored Monk's music, I encourage you to check out his classic albums. You'll hear not just notes but a mind at work, creating a whole new language of sound. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on music legends. Drop a comment below and let me know, what's your favorite Thelonious Monk tune? Until next time, stay inspired.